Salute, Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing today at MSG. The New York Knicks put the beat down on the Brooklyn Nets, winning 105-93 off a great fourth quarter by these New York Knicks, making their authority felt. In this one, man, Divincenzo erupted late, 7-0 run early to blow this one out. But it was Deuce McBride getting this third start. Deuce stays loose. He cannot be stopped right now. Great win as the New York Knicks took care of business today, and go 42-28 on the season. Let's get ready to chop this thing up with the best chat in the biz. How we doing, fam? Great win. And it was a little tricky early as the New York Knicks, would have struggled to, to get enough rest after this West Coast trip and get up for this one early in the game. 1 o'clock tip, matinee, right? Yeah, I hate these matinee games. I don't know about you guys, but nevertheless, the Knicks took care of their business. Divincenzo was awesome in that fourth, and he played the entire second half. So did Josh Hart, who was a hero, getting second chance points, rebounds, all of the Josh Hart things. But the story again, Deuce McBride continues his hot shooting on the season, right? He's playing with so much confidence, and he cannot be stopped right now, which is awesome. He's deserving all of his shine, and we're going to talk about it, give out the game balls, the grades, with the best chat in the biz, guys. How we feeling? Salute chat. Will and Tony, what's up, fam? The Knicks can now go 8-4 on the season to get to 50 wins, right? So we're getting closer and closer to that huge milestone of the 50 wins. We needed to take care of this game, right? And it was a Mikal Bridges heave at halftime to give the Nets a narrow 1-point lead. And you kind of felt like, yeah, are we really going to do this? Are we really going to be in a dogfight late? But the heroes stepped up early in the fourth, and we won the Battle of New York, right? Not that it was ever in any doubt, right? Not the best game from Jalen Brunson. Was probably gassed. I could feel that he wasn't, firing. But, Deuce McBride, man, playing alongside Brunson. We'll talk about that today, about how good of a fit that is, right? Because we are absolutely rolling in terms of ball movement, defense. It's just a great fit, having Deuce McBride play alongside Brunson, right? But we're also going to talk about Tibbs playing Deuce McBride the entire 48 minutes. Again, yes, you heard correct, fam. I'm still in disbelief. The Knicks got up to like a 12-point lead. No, more than that. It was like a 15 or 18-point lead with about 2 minutes remaining, and Tibbs kept the starters in tonight, which is insane. But look, these guys continue to battle. They continue to fight. As we heard on the call, the Knicks didn't get into New York until 5 o'clock yesterday. So it was a tough West Coast trip, a successful West Coast trip, fam, which has set up now the run home to the third seed. Hopefully, the New York Knicks move up to tied fourth with Orlando. So we'll talk about that as well. Orlando, I'm not sure if they play today. I'll check it. But we're basically the same record, 42-28. And it was good to see, guys pick up Brunson, like JJ said. Salute Kev. And Tony had Div sanity. Absolutely. So, Divincenzo blew this game open, and we're going to give out his flowers. But, of course, the New York Knicks shot the ball well from three, and Divincenzo was the big catalyst early, going on a 7-0 run by himself to start the fourth. And the Nets didn't score their first bucket in the fourth quarter until 6 minutes in. So it was defense, once again, getting it done, and holding the Nets to just 93 points is big, and the Nets went cold, right? And Divo erupted, and of course now Brooklyn, man, it looks like they're going to miss the play-in. They're 6 games out of Atlanta in 11th spot, and they're not going to make the play-in now. So it was great that we made that a reality, and the Brooklyn Nets season is a wash, fam. That's right. So the New York Knicks won the rebounding and the first grade and the game ball. The first game ball of today has to go to this man, Deuce McBride, right? He's going to get the stack. He's got the new contract. He's playing like a most improved for the gold star. He gets the A+ and the game ball, fam. But he's also, his play is now going to another level, right? And so he's going to get the legacy, the Knicks badge, because, his career, is on a huge upward trajectory, and he's forging a legacy of his own for the New York Knicks now, getting starts, producing, and playing amazing on both sides of the floor, right? And here was money, right? Clutch, and he gets the clutch badge. Once again, coming in, he hasn't had a bad game as a starter, right? So, he's built for it. It's in his veins, fam. Killer Dogs, salute, fam. What's up? Killer says, how are we going to handle McBride now when everyone else comes back? I wonder, man. Look, yeah, it's a good headache to have, fam. But look, Deuce is going to go back to the bench in reality. But what we've seen now is definitely food for thought, for the off-season. I mean, it's just a great problem to have. If Brunson ever misses games, he can step in, he can produce, he can play like a starter, and he's doing it for an extended stretch now, which is so good. And he's going to get the A+ in the game ball, like Buzzer Beater also agrees with me. Give out the grades with me, fam. Replay squad, salute. Steals, the Knicks got 10 steals, so continue to be gritty on that end of the floor. 59-46 in the rebounds, right? Nick Claxton battled, but Isaiah Hartenstein was fantastic once again with 9 rebounds. But Josh Hart, 13 boards, 3 of them were offensive, right? So Hart was a +15 team high today, right, in 44 minutes. Played the entire second half, which is insane. Deuce played the entire game once again, man. I think out of all the players now, I think Tom Thibodeau's found his favorite. I'm not going to lie, man. I think Deuce McBride, I think he is Tibbs' favorite right now. 48 minutes, can do it all. Can hit, can swish, can lock you down. Everything that Tom Thibodeau wants in a player, Deuce McBride has. Right? JJ says, at least the Nets have their lottery pick. Oh, wait. Yep. Let's sink the boot in. Is that there's only one team in New York, right? And we knew this coming into today, but we win the season series. Not that, it was ever in question. But, yeah, Deuce McBride, man, 9 of 16, 56%, 6 of 12 from 3, 50%, right? Incredible volume, right? 2 of 2 from the free throw. 3 assists as well, plus 12 and 26 points. So his career high was almost in jeopardy today as Deuce McBride. They've got no answer for him, man. He's aggressive. I thought he fought over screens like he continues to do as well. He's just got unlimited energy. And that's why Tom Thibodeau loves him so much, right? And he's actually producing in the clutch as well. Going from off the bench to starting ain't easy, guys. And this has been so impressive, this stretch, which is why he gets the legacy crown. Because, like Killer Dogs is asking, and when the streets are buzzing, what is Deuce McBride's ceiling now? Like, in terms of, could this be a long-term fit starting as well at the 2? You can push Divo to the 3, right? OG, is in and out of the lineup, right? He's, not durable, right? I'm not going to call OG injury prone, but he's, the facts are the facts. He's not durable. So in the future, we might see us, scenarios like this more where, Deuce can slot into the starting 5, and give this team, a huge punch, punches above his weight. Alec Burks can step in and run some point off the bench as well, like he did today. But Deuce can play 40 minutes, 48 minutes, which is not ideal, but man, he can do it all. Right, so impressive, guys. What's up? Drip More and Monarch TV, what's up? The streets are buzzing today as the Knicks are now back to 14 games above 500, and we tied Orlando in the 4th seed, right? And as I said earlier, anyone that's just coming through the building, all we have to do now is go 8-4 for the rest of the way, and we get to 50 wins, fam. We'll talk a little bit about OG, Randall, Mitch, but a lot of that stuff is still up in the air. But what's most pleasing, guys, about today's win and this last 5-game stretch is that, the Knicks have shown with unearthing more talent, with Deuce McBride starting, and giving this guy more of a platform. We're showing that we can win in multiple ways, which is not something that every fan kind of realized. We have a lot of talent, and when you give guys more of a shot, like Deuce, right, he gives you the same production, as we get, with different guys in the lineup, as well. It also helps rest Jalen Brunson, a little bit, with Deuce McBride handling the ball, bringing it up the court. JB can kind of play off ball, and utilize his dribble drive, his shooting, spot up shooting and all of that. Great stuff, fam. So another game ball for Deuce Miles McBride. He stays loose. Yeah, he ain't getting loose at this point. He's staying loose. Yeah, he's running wild. Is Deuce McBride, man. Shout out to him for his stretch, and much deserved. Another game ball. He deserves that grade alone for playing another 48 minutes. To be that efficient is special, fam. Many blessings to everyone out here, Knicks Nation, right? What a season it's been. We just want to be fully healthy for round 1. We'll talk a bit more about the injuries later, fam. But yeah, just an impressive closeout to this game, right? It was a funky first half, right? It was a kind of a back and forth, as Brooklyn were fairly physical, aggressive. They were hitting shots as well, but I felt like momentum was starting to move in our direction towards the end of the second, and we were up 7, but we turned the ball over a little bit. Divincenzo had a couple turnovers, and Mikal Bridges, a 3/4 court heave, gave Brooklyn a 1-point lead at the half. But you felt like the Knicks would come out in the third and put the beat down on the Brooklyn Nets. But the third was also a little chippy kind of affair. It was back and forth. The Knicks were up 3 heading into the fourth quarter, right? But then the Divincenzo show arrived, fam, as we move towards Divo now and talk about him. Give out his flowers, man. One of his best games as a New York Knick. What do you think about Divincenzo's grade? We're going to talk about Divo right now as we continue to salute Miles McBride. Miles Deuce McBride. The grade for Divincenzo for me today is also an A+, man. Couldn't be anything else. He blew the game wide open in that fourth early with his intensity, slashing to the cup. The 3-point shooting this season has been money. One of the best shooters in the league. Great to see him, have a really great close to the game. He's been in a little bit of a decline, as people have been talking about. A little worried, but Divo bounced back today. He'll get the second game ball for me because it was, as Mike Breen alluded, it was tied 1 minute into the fourth, believe it or not, and without Divo's flurry and 7-0 run, we don't get that kind of separation, and he'll get an A+ and also the clutch badge because Divincenzo was on it tonight, man. He wasn't letting this one slip and letting Mikal Bridges, possible future Knick and former Villanova teammate, get the wood on us today, right? And Divincenzo, his numbers were 12 of 24, 50%, and 4 of 13 from deep, 3 or 4 from the line. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, 31 points on a plus 10, right? What an absolute burner he was on in that fourth quarter, man. Huge stones. You know what? And also, guys, that bodes well for the playoffs because, yeah, Divincenzo has shown that, right? Yeah, he don't need much of a minute to get loose, right? You see that nice scoop layup on a Foreman Nick DSJ. That was nice. He was in his bag in that fourth quarter. And you love to see him not just settle for the three. I thought Divincenzo was aggressive. He was getting to the bucket, as well, piling on the pain for the Brooklyn Nets, the New Jersey Nets as well. Another A+ given out from Buzzer Beater. Salute. Monarch TV says Villanova boys is God sent. The contract they're on is God sent as well, fam. Yep, definitely. What's up, Ronald? Deuce is definitely going to help in the playoffs. Definitely, man. I don't know if there's many people doubting Deuce McBride after this stretch now. You know what? And he's only 23, so, third year kind of, bloom that we're seeing with Deuce McBride. Really, he's breaking out for this ball club, his career as well. Jay Boogie in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Big ups. Shout out. Many blessings, health, happiness. Keeping us buzzing. Jay Boogie. We uploaded Jay Boogie's new track, Mike Breen Bang, as well. Check that out if you haven't already, man. It's a banger. Awesome work. Jay Boogie continues to drop blazing tracks and Knicks anthems as well. We'll talk to Jay Boogie soon about all the stuff that's popping with him and the new music coming out, man. Check it out. Jay Boogie on Spotify. Great work, man. Also, we won the season series, today. So that's a huge tick and a salute to everyone and these Knicks as well. We can't be playing down to the opponent, and today we did not. Right, is Divincenzo is on that money deal as well, guys. We talk about Leon Rose. Yeah, the success this season has been top to bottom. Not only did they identify a guy like Divo for his potential, and he could give more in his career, right? He's going from strength to strength. But we also, signed him with the mid-level, right? When you look at guys around the league earning, silly, crazy numbers, and you look at Divincenzo's contract for the mid-level exception, right, $13 million, right, gives us 30 points tonight, and is the money man late, plus 10, 31 points. Incredible signing this season. Plays both sides of the floor. Not his best night from three, 30%, but 12 of 24 from the field. So, as I said earlier, my point, he got to the cup today, which is great. He's a triple threat, and that's what makes Divincenzo so dangerous for us. He'll also be a huge factor in the playoffs to moving ahead. We need guys with confidence, right? Irrational confidence heading into playoff games, because everyone's going to have to step up, right, and hit those big shots. And also basically, answer the call, in adversity. We're going to need guys to D up both sides of the floor as well. So even if their shot's not falling, they impact the game in other ways, right? And just as I say that, speaking of guys who, impact the game in multiple ways, this next man we're about to talk about, he also had a huge game, right, in the hustle department. Josh Hart continues to be that warrior, Knicks warrior, and it helps us win the hustle battle. Hart was on it today with his rebounding, led the team, 13 rebounds, 3 were offensive, 5 assists, a steal, a block, 6 points, and a plus 15 team high. Played the entire second half. Salute to Josh Hart. man, he was 3 of 8 and 0 of 3. The 3 ball did not fall, but killing them on the glass, man. 13 rebounds is incredible, right? He showed up late. He'll get the clutch badge. He'll get the Warrior icon. And, of course, he's earned his new contract as well. What do you guys think for Hart's game today? Man, he was big, right? And I'm going to give Josh Hart an A for today's game, man. 13 rebounds, incredible. As the man himself said, he gets rebounds that break people. And he doesn't always get out rebound the big men on the Knicks, because that's difficult. But what Hart does is he gets rebounds that break the other team, man. The guy is all over the court, and I can't wait to see him, cause more havoc, devastation in the playoffs. Now, he's also a guy who helps relieve the ball handlers too, right? Assisting was Josh Hart today. He runs the ball up the court. Today he ran the fast break. If he doesn't get an assist, he gets a hockey assist as well sometimes. 5 assists today to his name, a steal and a block, right? He's the best role player in the league, in my opinion. So we're going to bring up also a gold star, because he's a star in his role, right? And the best role player in the league could do whatever you need. Set guys up, rebound, run the break. As I said, man, he's just going from strength to strength, as that contract extension hasn't kicked in. Salute. G Money, the Divo kangaroo was bouncing today, man. Yep. Yeah, as you said that, man, really impressive. Those that don't realize, the Knicks got in late from the West Coast trip, and they didn't have much time to really recover, play in Denver, right? You get back on the East Coast, but you had to win this one. You had to take care of business and set things up now for what's going to be a huge finish to the season. 8-4. Let's get it. 50 wins, right? I'll be disappointed now if we don't, move on and get that 50 wins, right? I think it's a real possibility now, fam. Let's get a Hart icon for Josh Hart, fam. As Buzzerbeat is asking. Yeah, great question. Let's do that, man. We got the Warrior icon, and we get the heart for the Hearts set up, man. Look out for the next episode. And you also give Hart an A. Appreciate you. G Money says Knicks have cut down the Nets 5 straight times since Kyrie and the KD trade. That's what's up. And so they should, man. We've got more talent. Now, credit to them in the first half. The Nets did battle. Of course, they're playing for pride. They're out of the play-in spot right now. And this was a kind of a possible trap game, possible letdown game. But, the New York Knicks came to play late. As Deuce McBride, right, started the game strong and continues his fine form, shooting the rock with confidence. Now, this is one of the first times we've done the post game, and we haven't talked about Jalen Brunson yet, and we're about 3 players in. So that lets you know how today went. As Brunson's numbers, he was 32 minutes, right? So not playing as many as Deuce McBride got the start, played 48. Brunson went 7 of 24, 3 of 4 from deep. So it was back to being efficient from 3, but inefficient from 2. Gave us 8 assists, 17 points on a plus 12 with 4 rebounds. So light work for JB, and I love these kind of games actually where we don't need a Jalen Brunson masterpiece just to win a ball game. So I think that is a win right in itself. I really do salute the rest of the squad because Brunson has carried us through a lot of the season, and we haven't really need outside of some of those West Coast games recently. We haven't really needed huge games for him from him to win the ball game, right? So shout out to JB for his season so far is playing like at an All NBA level. Obviously, the West Coast trip has really taken its toll though, and also the minutes though have come down a little bit, which is good. Maybe we're keeping Brunson more fresh for the postseason. So Brunson's grade, let me know, guys. What do you think? He'll get the Warrior icon with his battling this season, the gold star for his All-Star, All-NBA performance. And his game today, man, I'm going to give Brunson a B+ still. 8 assists, inefficient from the field. But once again, man, leads the team from the offensive side in the starting lineup. 1 steal, 1 turnover with 8 assists. So that's incredible, man. 8-to-1 assist to turnover ratio today with 4 rebounds too. So yeah, we win gritty. Today wasn't pretty from Jalen Brunson, but of course he's been spectacular this season. Yeah, McBride, marvelous in the same sentence. I appreciate you. Seth, what's up, says, let's talk seeding. If we can't catch the 2nd seed or the 3rd seed, I think it's strategic to fall to 6 or 7 to be on the non-Boston side of the bracket. At the same time, let's go. Boston, we ain't scared. Thoughts? I definitely hear what you're saying, man. I think, look, you got to be smart about setting up the pathway to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? But I think we're close enough, Seth, to the 3rd seed to still go for it. If we win 8 and if we go 8-4, 50 wins, that can get you the 3rd seed still, I think. So we're going to talk about it a bit more as I'm going to bring up the standings as we're talking about it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think we should go for the 3rd seed still because we're close enough. And if we get a little closer to the finish line and it's looking like 3rd is not possible, then we might start to have that, that goal of maybe being a little more strategic, in terms of falling down a little bit, resting some guys. I wouldn't say purposely falling down, but resting some guys, and seeing how it goes from there. But yeah, I've got the standings right now. I'm about to bring that up, courtesy of MSG Networks, the best in the biz. Right, we're getting closer to clinching the playoff berth as we sit currently tied in the 4th spot, right with Orlando Magic and just 1 game back of the 3rd seed. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Cleveland, we don't know if Donovan Mitchell is going to have to miss maybe some more time, fam. He might need to miss a little bit more in prep for the playoffs, and that's our chance. We in that case. I think, we're getting Mitch back really soon. He could be back next game. OG could be back. And let's continue this run. Eddie F, salute. Dante D Sanity. Yes, sir. Dirty Dancer in the building. Stat Muse says Deuce averages 18 a game as the starter and he's efficient. That's amazing. I love to hear these stats as well. The eye test tells you a lot too. Defensively, we really had a chance to even beat Denver, and we weren't playing at our best, and we're down 3 starters as well. So that's the numbers don't lie, as you say, but also the eye test with Deuce Miles McBride. Also, we've talked about this a bit more, but the organization knows what they have in a Deuce Miles McBride, and they extended him the second Quickly got traded, and we always felt like Quickly was going to be a great starter in this league, I felt. But I also felt like he was impeding Deuce's growth, Like, Deuce needed this chance, to play more. And we're getting that now. Now that he's getting this opportunity, starting next to Brunson, right? The significance of today's win also, and this recent stretch with Deuce, is that we don't really need Brunson, highlight games to win, which is great because, we don't want to gas this man out. We don't want to tire him before the playoffs, right? Save all of those special breakout performances for the playoffs, when we really need them the most, right? These are regular season games still at the end of the day. But great statistic. Great point also from Buzzer here. Brunson B game is better than many people's A game. Facts. Yep, great point. Because 8 assists, 1 turnover as well. A lot of people will say, Brunson was inefficient tonight. He didn't have it going, right? Poor game. But the bar is so high for Jalen Brunson too that we feel that way at times because he's not scoring 40, but remember he is a point guard too. So at that point, the 8 assists, I'll take it, fam. And we had Nick Royalty in the building today, interviewed by MSG as well. Salute to the big captain, number 33, Patrick Ewing. Salute. Great to see him at MSG, man. Let me know if you were in the building today or, you've been to MSG. Great to see these former legends. Welcome. We need to bring Patrick back, right? We talk about so much, but let's bring him back to the organization. Just great to see him there, man. That's all I can say, man. Patrick was my hero growing up. The first jersey I ever wore. Every night we had a chance to win a ball game because of this man in the playoffs, especially. Laid it all out there. And just Nick Royalty, right, for me. But Deuce McBride, man, he gets up strong with that one, man. He got hops. He dropped 11 points in that first quarter and set the tone, right? As we move along, man, like I said, the first time in a minute that we talk about Jalen Brunson as the third player in the post game review in the grades, right? But the next man we're going to talk about is Isaiah Hartenstein, another Knick warrior, future Knick legend, right? A guy who's going to get paid, right? And we're going to start with the warrior icon, continues to battle and be one of the best, strongest, most rugged centers in the game, fam. And he's going to get paid, right? And he's playing like a guy who's most improved once again. Not many people felt like Isaiah had this kind of play when the Knicks signed him. $8 million. The second year of the deal is coming towards the end. And one of the best signings, I think, in the Leon Rose era. What do you guys think? Now that we can reflect on, there's still ways to go, of course, and I don't think Isaiah is going to go anywhere. But now that we're coming to the end of the second year of the deal, the 2-year, $16 million deal, I think it's one of Leon Rose's most shrewd business moves as well. A lot of people felt we overpaid. Remember, people said, why did we pay $8 million for a backup when we've got Mitch? Right, I remember that. And then there was another take. People said, "Oh, why are we just giving why are we overpaying for CAA guys?" And all of that. Man, how foolish was that narrative right now? I mean, CAA or not, we've got the connections because we knew that this guy here on screen is one of the most, elite centers in the game. But also he was a backup at the time, right? And we knew it was going to be pivotal to have a guy who could step in, and still grow in his career, right? We haven't seen the best of this man, Isaiah Hartenstein. and the best is yet to come, man. He's not going anywhere. As we look at his numbers today, I keep saying tonight, man, but early tip, we had Isaiah 8 of 10 from the field. Once again, 9 rebounds, 17 buckets, and a plus 13. Dominated his matchup with Nick Claxton, and got to the free throw line a bit as well. I loved his multiple pump fakes under the bucket to make the Nets look foolish. That was one of the best plays of today, with Isaiah. Also on the 26 minutes. So that is key to keep him fresh for the playoffs, because he is going to be one of the most important Knicks in the playoffs, fam. As we pull up Divincenzo's full highlights today, right, he went MJ of Delaware in that fourth quarter. Did Divincenzo, man. He was on fire, and he can step up as well in big moments and carry this team. That speaks to how deep this team is, right? When it's next man up, but not only that, but the guy steps up and plays like one of the best role players in the league. What do you think is a reasonable deal for an Isaiah Hartenstein, right? I'm praying that the 14 million is enough to get it done. So those that don't know, we can only pay Isaiah 150% of his current salary. So, that's basically, we can go all the way up towards about 14. And I think, the usage, the terms of the deal might be key as well in New York, right? If he's really happy here, I think it's going to be a done deal. Unless a team comes out with some crazy offer, right, I can't see him leaving. He's getting the shine here. He's getting the opportunities. If we could give him if he wants to take a shorter deal, maybe and take a player option, that could be something. So that, we can pay him the max that we can pay him, and then we can pay him more, right? If he's worried about that, later. But once again, this ain't the first time that Isaiah steps in when Mitch goes down. Like last season, he stepped up as well, right? And it's just been one of the best signings of the Leon Rose regime, man. I got to give Isaiah an A+ for today as well. Another player who is showing their full potential with the squad. So credit to the coaches, credit to the entire team for unlocking this man. Ewing was king. Yep, shout out former Nick legend, current Nick legend. Neymar, what's good? We need the 3rd seed. 1 game away. Yep, it's really close, man. It's going to come down to a lot of these games. We play Chicago 3 more times, too. Yeah, appreciate you, Dirty, for your thoughts on the award board. The players are stepping up in so many ways. We had to come up with ways to give them their flowers, and accolades. With that said, I want to give Isaiah some more love. So let's give him the efficiency badge, right? He's on target, 8 of 10, right? And then also want to level him up for the Knicks crown, legacy growing with the ball club. I mean, when you step up in so many ways, as this guy is, right? I mean, the fan base just continues to adore this kind of play. Making fools of the Brooklyn big man. Nick Claxton was talked about as an all-star. Don't forget. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe he was an all-star last season, or maybe a reserve, an injury replacement, something like that. And look, Isaiah played so well against Jokic, as well as Precious did, who we're going to talk about in a minute. But what's impressed me recently about Isaiah, we know we get the hustle, but he's really efficient around the cup. Now, the floater game is as good as I've seen it. around the dunker spot, foul line extended even, um, and of course the playmaking. Right, they call him the connector, and defensively is that anchor as well. 4 steals, 2 blocks, 17 points. Huge stretch for Isaiah, man. If we get that production in 36 minutes, right, it's game over for the other team. But what's going to happen when Mitch gets back is it's going to be 48 minutes of this kind of play. And we're going to talk about Achua now as the starters are wrapped up. What do you guys think now with Mitch returning? How do you see Precious Achua's fit in the playoffs? Do you feel like he's still nailed on rotation, but just minutes reduced? Or could you see a world where Tibbs shortens the rotation even more, where, obviously you got to make your minutes for Deuce, you got to make your minutes for Hart, Alec Burks maybe in and out of the rotation, and then you've got Mitch. Let's say hypothetically Mitch is the backup, and then you fit Achua in that way. Maybe that's your 4 guys off the bench. Maybe that's your Deuce, your Josh Hart, your Achua, and then your Mitch. And then maybe, Burks and Bogey are out of the rotation. Great last quarter, Vaughn. Awesome to see the Knicks put the beat down late. Yep. AP going for the Deuce McBride MIP train. 100% agree with you on that. Deuce McBride has shown that he could be the most improved player realistically, but I think he won't win it because, if he was doing what he's doing at the beginning of the season, I think he would be the favorite. But I think it's probably going to go to somebody else. As we talk about Mr. Achua next, and once again, what a signing for Isaiah, for the Knicks and Isaiah Hartenstein, man. 2 years, $16 million. One of the best contracts the Knicks have given out in decades, fam. That's not a max deal, right? Talking about up there with the likes of Hart, Divincenzo, and then of course Jalen Brunson contract is in a world of its own. So to recap, A+ for Isaiah, A+ for Miles McBride, B+ for Jalen Brunson, A for Josh Hart, and A+ for Divo. And the game balls went to Deuce McBride and Divo for today's big performance. Overall, Deuce McBride played 48 minutes. Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart played the entire second half. Right. Tibbs is just gearing them up, man, for the playoffs. So the real 6-man is Mr. Achua now with Josh Hart starting. But, of course, Hart will go back to the bench. When will we see OG return? Right. I don't think they look like they're in a rush to bring OG back. Right. And I think that's the right move. As frustrating as it is, fam, we want to see OG back, but we're winning. We've only got 12 more games left, man. The season's flying past right now, and I can't wait for the playoffs. But yeah, back to the conversation about Achua, I think he will get playoff minutes. I can't see Tibbs cutting any of those minutes, right? We still need his hustle, his defense, his efficiency, and we need to make sure Mitch and Isaiah get enough rest as well, because their rim protection is key also. So let's look at Achua's numbers and give out the grade. He was 0 of 2 today, couldn't find the bucket. 3 rebounds though, 2 were offensive. 0 points on a -9 today. So, but 7 minutes. So a significant minutes reduction today for the first time in a minute. As Dirty Dancer says, Precious is going to get cleanup duty when Mitch and Randall are back. Yeah, I think that's looking likely, really. I think maybe like tonight, the 7-8 minutes, 10 minutes. But yeah, I think the rotation, the starting 5 are going to play so many minutes. And then you've got Hart who, Tibbs loves playing the 4 spot as well. And then you've obviously got Mitch, which is going to be that luxury, fam. And then you've still got OG, who you can play with the bench lineup as well, And then, of course, we don't know how many minutes Randall's going to play. And once again, I will say, I feel like Randall will be the last guy to return. I think, obviously, OG, to me, is technically back. OG is just day-to-day. I don't think that elbow inflammation is a major setback. I think he had surgery. He came back maybe a little too soon, got hit, and then the elbow flared up. And it's going to take a week or two to go back down, and then I think he'll be hopefully no interruptions after that. But Mitchell Robinson is day-to-day as well. He'll be back any game. Detroit coming into the building next. That could be perfect to get Mitch 12 minutes, 18 minutes, and start to ramp up for game 1. But yeah, with Precious today, I think that's probably what we could see moving towards the playoffs, fam. 8 to 12 minutes. It's disappointing to see a little minutes reduction because he's been a hero for us this season. And he's shown that he could be in the most improved conversation too. So we'll give Precious a gold star there. And he'll get the Knicks Warrior icon because he's stepped up so many times. Today wasn't his game, but gave us some rebounds, continues to be that force around the bucket. And he's been shooting the 3 ball at times this season. Today he wasn't on point. Credit to obviously those minutes for the Brooklyn Nets. They made things difficult for Precious, but he just didn't have it going today. My grade, I'm going to give Precious a C for his day today, right? But we have enough guys to pick him up, and we got the dub, man. 12-point win, and we move along now. We are now 4 out of the last 5, right? 3 big wins on the West Coast, and today 4 out of the last 5. Great to see us playing the way we are at this time of the season. Despite all the injuries, guys, to sit here and be talking about us to get possibly the 3rd seed is money. And heading in, even before the season, even when Mitch and Randall went down, who would have thought that the 3rd seed would be a real possibility in the Knicks' grasp right here, just 1 game back of the 3rd spot behind Cleveland. Basically just 1 win, 1 loss. So we have Detroit next, then we have Toronto Raptors away, and then we have San Antonio away, and then back at MSG against the Thunder as well. So let's win the next 3, right, and really put the pressure on the Magic and Cleveland. And we're about to talk about the road ahead, but we will talk about the rest of the bench first. Bogey, Burks, what did you guys see from them? I think Seth asks who in the current rotation will miss out in the playoffs. I think it's going to be Burks and Bogey. Personally, I think Burks and Bogey. There might be those games where Bogdanovic comes in if guys are cold. Maybe Burks as well. We'll see. But yeah, as I said, I think with OG back in the lineup, having Deuce come back off the bench and give you those points that we're going to need off our bench, that's big. And then, of course, Hart will fit in. Maybe Burks. Maybe we need the 2 guard because Hart will play the 3 or the 4 off the bench. I can't see Hart playing the 2. I could be wrong. For Hart to play the 2, OG would have to play with the bench at the 3, Precious at the 4, Mitchell Robinson at the 5 as well. So yeah, I think it's really up in flux. There could be those games where Bogey or Burke see some minutes, maybe very, very small minutes though, 4 or 5 minutes. I think, to come in. But I think those will be the guys to miss out. Buzzer Beater says Brunson will get the MIP just like Morant did in his breakout year. I think realistically Brunson is deserving of an MIP. I just feel like he won't win because his play before the season was already kind of all-star levels. Although he's still taken his game to the next level, I feel like the NBA is going to look at it like, we know Brunson was really legit already. But to your point, I really feel like Brunson's ascendance is deserving of that award, right? So today, Bogey and Burks got some minutes. What did they do? 2 of 9 from Alec Burks and 1 of 2 from Bogdanovic. 15 and 7 minutes apiece. 5 points, 3 points, right? So, I mean, we're splitting hairs at the minute with Bogey and Burks, right? Some people say Burks has been better than Bogey recently, and some people are saying Bogey has been the better player since the trade. I think they've both been underwhelming. I still think they both have something to give, but realistically, it's a luxury to have in the playoffs. We're not going to really rely on those guys now, with Hart and Deuce coming off the bench, together with probably Divo or OG. Remember, some of the starters can play with the bench as well. I've said this before, but I would personally prefer one of Brunson or Randall to always be on the bench, always be with a bench lineup in the playoffs, so that you've got one go-to scorer always, one all-star level scorer in the playoff matchups, which is going to be key as well, because we know guys can play well, but it's a whole different ball game in the playoffs. When defenses key in and all of that. AP, what's up? Appreciate you supporting. I'm all the way in Australia, fam, as well. So, yeah, been a Knicks fan since 1991. And of course, Patrick Ewing was one of my favorite New York Knicks. Right. Some people even ask me, like, how does a guy become a Knicks fan in Australia as well? But people, I might not look my age, but I'm 40, and the Knicks were great in the 90s, making NBA Finals twice in the 90s. So a lot of young heads don't realize that the Knicks were actually great in the 90s. So slim picking since then, but the Knicks were great in the 90s. So that's when I became that huge diehard fan. People are so thirsty to give it to Maxey when his improvement is so much less impressive. Yeah, I don't see how Maxey should get the most improved. I kind of felt like his plays much of the same, as last season, really. Yep, 1990, and that was our next question. Salute. When did you become that fan? Was it 1990? John Starks was one of my other heroes as well, with the organization still. That's great. Look, with Bogey and Burks, I'm going to give their grade a piece, and it's both going to be a C-. Fam. Not their worst game, but I think, the writing's on the wall for the playoffs. I think we will go down to a 9-man rotation, fam, when OG and Randall are back. If one of OG, Randall, or Mitch are missing for whatever reason, then I think the door opens up for Bogey or Burks to get minutes. But I wouldn't put it past Tom Thibodeau to go with 8-man. What do you guys think? Do you think Tibbs could go with the 8-man in the playoffs? That's a realistic possibility if there's an injury. Right? As I'll pull up Tibbs. Let's give Tibbs a grade today. Now, I didn't like the fact that he didn't pull the starters. Deuce McBride didn't need to play 48. 3 minutes remaining, the game was a wash, right? But he had the team up for the second half. 4 out of the last 5. Tibbs is in line to get a contract extension now. There's, reports starting to come out that Tom Thibodeau is going to get that extension in the summer as well. That's not going to be a surprise to me. I think with the work he's done, the connection with Leon Rose, I think Tibbs will get that contract extension regardless of what happens in the playoffs, right? For those that are asking, that could be the next question. If the Knicks flame out in the first round, what do you think will happen with Tibbs? I still think he'll get extended. That's just my opinion. If we flame out in the first round, I don't even really want to put that energy out there. But if that was to happen, right, I still think there's great reasons to bring Tibbs back. But I wouldn't be mad if they made a change. Obviously, he's a great regular season coach. He's got to show that, he can get this ball club further in the playoffs. But there's the injuries, as well. So that's been a huge factor recently, too. And, for the season as a whole, as we get close to playoffs, right, and we have a chance to get the 3rd seed, I think Tibbs deserves a B plus A for the regular season, and what he's been able to achieve, with the injuries in the stacked East. This season we've seen Orlando start to come up. We've seen a lot of teams fall, as well. You think a B for Tibbs? Yep, that's reasonable. That's solid. Yep. Seth says Tibbs earned his bag, unless it's a colossal failure in the playoffs. Yeah, absolutely. Also, for those that are maybe not on the Tibbs train, if he were to get extended, that doesn't mean he can't be fired. So don't. For anyone who's maybe on the fence, even if you're torn, you want to see more in the playoffs. I think coaches can get fired at any point. So an extension doesn't mean Tibbs is safe. I think it just means it's a fair reward for what he's been able to achieve with the club. We've been consistent, and consistently good, consistently great for this season, right? So let's get it. Buzzer beater, born a Knicks fan. Yep. Come out the mother's womb as a Knicks fan. Represent, right? Yeah, it's in our blood. X-Man, yep. Stand up. Shout out to Xavier McDaniels. Yep, so my preferred matchup in the playoffs is any matchup, to be honest with you, right? I don't think... Well, I'm at the point now where, we've seen so much. And I feel like, just getting to the playoffs, fully healthy is the most important thing. And with that said, I think we'll be able to beat anybody. Yeah, as Buzzer agrees, if we fail badly, Tibbs will still get that extension. Maybe just a smaller bag. Maybe less years. Maybe 3-year extension. Fam, I think we can't forget where we're got Leon Rose with the in the president spot, and those guys have a mutual respect for each other as well as that friendship. And for Leon Rose's first gig as a president, to get a guy like Tibbs in, it was still a move that could have backfired. It had risks, but it's kind of saved Leon Rose in a way as well, because no president wants to get their first coaching appointment wrong as well. So both deserve equal credit. I think, it was some people say it was a low floor, it was a high floor, low ceiling getting Tibbs. It was a safe move, but it was a move that also helped the New York Knicks establish a culture, establish an identity now with players that work hard, they play hard, they fight hard, and that's why we're able to give out these flowers. Yep, your matchup, Dirty Dancer says, is 3 and 6, so that we play Orlando ideally. Yep, that could work out. I think fully healthy. I think Julius Randle is a huge equalizer for Orlando in that matchup. As I'm going to pull up the action around the league today. Right, replay squad salute, live chat, buzzing, smashing that like button. As you talked about the matchup with the Magic. I think Julius Randle will equalize a guy like a Paolo Banchero, but without Julius, I think it's going to be a matchup where we're really going to need OG or Precious Achua to take that matchup personally, because if you know, and I'm not trying to discredit the rest of their roster, but everyone has one guy that you need to shut down. You need to focus on. And for the Magic, that is Paolo Banchero, you know, in that matchup. For Cleveland, it's Donovan Mitchell, of course. You know, Donovan Mitchell is the only player on Cleveland that's capable of beating the Knicks, I think. With Garland and the rest of the crew, that's not a worry for me. Indiana, I used to threaten them. I used to fear them a little because, you know, obviously they were fully healthy. Tyrese was playing well, but right now they've come back down to earth. Matheron's out for the season, and Tyrese is not playing well. So I think I'm not worried about them in the matchup anymore. The Miami Heat, though, I mean, they're going to make it physical. I don't fear the Heat in terms of, you know, skill versus skill. I think the Knicks have what it takes to beat the Heat in 5 or 6 this time. Right, as the real Jalen Brunson will come into the building and make it known that he's the best player on the court in that series, right? All those guys that talk about the Knicks don't have the best player on the court anymore, right? How foolish was that? TNT, Kenny Smith, Hayton, you know, Jalen Brunson, you know, Kendrick Perkins said he would take Jalen Brunson over any player, any point guard in the league, right? So that lets you know that, you know, he's showing what he can do, you know, around this league, and he's the best player on the court in many times. But you see the PS next to the Knicks, that's postseason clinched, fam. Whether it's play-in or play-off, right? We are 3.5 up on the Heat in comfortable territory for the playoffs. I don't see the Knicks falling into the play-in, fam. We talked about favorable matchups. Philly is another one for me, fam. Without Joel Embiid or Embiid hampered, I think that's a good matchup for the Knicks. We can kill them with all our big men, you know, as well. You know, you shut down Maxey with all our wings, with OG, Hart, Divo, and we win that series, right? Tobias Harris and the rest of the guys are not beating the Knicks alone, fam. I think we have the luxury of spread scoring, but Philly need a 30-point game from Maxey and a 30-40 point game from Embiid, I think, to get it done, right? And we have depth. We can rely on multiple guys now with Deuce McBride, you know, playing at another level, right? It's really special that we can see a huge Knicks run like '99, fam. Back when I was a teen, right, making that run in the finals was special from the 8th seed. But yeah, expectation is now rising with the Knicks, with the possibility of getting to that 3rd spot, right? As we talked about it, the Knicks only need to go 8-4 to get to 50 wins, right? Anyone coming through the building, let's go through the rest of the games, coming up now on the road to 50 wins. I think we could get to 51 now, realistically. So Detroit, MSG next. That's a win. We got the Raptors after that. That's a second win. San Antonio. That could be a trap game. Wemby. We haven't really seen that yet, but that's in their building. But I'm still going to say win. Mitch, you would think, would be a great shout to play. OG could be back for that game. We have enough to win that ball game as well. So let's go 3 out of the next 3. Oklahoma, I think that's going to be a 50-50 game. If we win, that would be one of the better wins of the season, I think. Obviously, Oklahoma, with respect to them, are the top dog out west. 49 wins, 20 losses. They are, what are they in their last 10? The Thunder are 8-2. 8-2 in their last 10 as well. So that's going to be tough. That could be the next loss, right? So we can afford 4 more losses. And then I flip over to April. So we win the next 3. I think then hypothetically we lose to the Thunder. And then Miami away, I think that's a win. Sacramento at home is another win. Right, so that's 5 more wins. Chicago, Milwaukee. I'll say Chicago is also a win. So that's 6 wins. And then Milwaukee is a loss, hypothetically. Chicago away again could be a loss because those home and homes are tricky. But I'm going to say it's a win as well. Chicago's season will basically be settled. They're in the play-in already. Boston, Brooklyn should be a win, and Chicago should be a win there. So man, that's your 8 wins. That's your 8-9 wins right there. So I think we take care of business, the ones we need to win. But I think it's going to be a better season than last, right? 48, whether it's 49 or 50, right? What a season it's been, despite the injuries. If we didn't have Randall go down or Mitch, this is a 52, 55 win season, right? Easily. What did I think about the refs today? I didn't notice too many bad calls, so yeah, I think B is a fair grade. Yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree with you on that, man. I thought, my thoughts recently. I think they're losing control a little bit of physicality. They're being inconsistent with calling it one way in one half and then calling it the other way in the second half. But basically, yeah, today, the Knicks played through the physicality and were the better team. Yep. Yeah, AP, what's up? Mitchell Robinson. So, yeah, let's talk a bit about that, man. Mitch is practicing in full, which is awesome to hear for him, his health, for us as well. Mitch will be back, I think, in the next 3 games. One of those next 3. It could be the next game. It could be the 2 after that. So that's going to be great. He will start on a minutes restriction, no doubt. The injury was significant. He copped, a big surgery, and he had to work his way back. People didn't think he would be back. So credit to him and his rehab. Mitch is going to be huge. I think he could play 20 minutes, 25, share the load with Isaiah. Rim protection, elite offensive rebounding in the playoffs, second chance points. It's going to be huge for us. His wingspan. It'll be interesting to see what kind of shape he is in as well. With the leg injury, you can't really run. Maybe he's bulked up. I'll be interested to see if Mitch has bulked up a little bit more, and maybe put on more muscle as well. So that could be a bigger factor too. But I'm going to say he's back against Wemby. I'm going to say he's back on Thursday, April 4. No, that's Sacramento, fam. As I pull up the it's Friday. Next Friday is the Spurs game. So yeah, we've got Detroit, the Raptors, and then the Spurs, fam. So yeah, I'm gonna predict that Mitch is back by Friday, right? He is traveling with the team already. Yeah, he traveled on the West Coast, so he's practicing now. Really, it's about getting in rhythm, shaking off the cobwebs, the dust. Yeah, and I think, Mitch is going to be huge for the playoffs, like we saw last season, right? Against a Orlando, that could be a matchup where Mitch really beasts because, you neutralize the Paolo at the rim. Franz Wagner likes to get to the rim as well. Orlando don't have an elite big man, you know. Wendell Carter is a little bit undersized. Batadze and the other guys they've got. Mitch could really factor into an Orlando series. Cleveland again, of course. That's gonna be pretty to see Mitch dominate that matchup again if we get Cleveland. I'll bring it up again. The standings. Let's say the Knicks get fourth or third. Yeah, it's either going to be Cleveland or the Magic. I think that we push down. If we move up to 3, Cleveland or Orlando are going to move back down. If we move up to 4, it's going to be probably Orlando right underneath us. I think Indiana could, if they could put together a run, might be able to get into 5, but I think Orlando will hold firm. I don't see the Heat getting into 5, maybe into 6. A 3-6 matchup with Knicks Heat could be huge. Again, Mitch could factor huge into that series because Bam, we know, is going to get after it, man. And Isaiah, is on the minutes restriction. So I want to see, a Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson able to back up and help out Isaiah for that series as well. Because Kevin Love is going to be on it. Bam Adebayo is also going to be really physical in that one. Overly physical too. What's up, Daras? Spoiler alert, 10-zip run started today. Let's get it. We can finish the season out strong. 10-0 strong. 8-4 will get us to 50 wins, man, and that'll be the first time in a decade, which is a long time coming. But shout out once again to Tom Thibodeau, the rest of the team, Leon Rose as well. I'll give Leon Rose an A for the summer, the recruitment, the season so far. Tom Thibodeau could deserve an A in my opinion, but I'm going to keep it at a B+ for now. What we do in the playoffs will dictate whether it stays a B+ or goes to an A. It won't fall below a B+. I think because of the injuries, because of the East getting better. I think I'm not going to entertain a first round exit. But I think if we get to the second round, lose maybe in a heartbreaking fashion, I think it would stay at a B+ for me. But obviously I want that A. I want that A+ season. Right, I want Eastern Conference Finals. I want NBA Finals. What do you guys think? Peace, Knicks World, NYC says. Great win today. Great to beat Brooklyn. Season series in the books. Now. AP asks, my question is, how do the Knicks even... do the Knicks even need Spider Mitchell? Or should they invest in a different kind of player? Great question. To answer it directly, no. The New York Knicks do not need Donovan Mitchell. Could the Knicks do with a Donovan Mitchell? My answer to that is yes. But do they need a Donovan Mitchell? No. Um, would they be more wise investing it in another area? I think yes. I think obviously it depends on who is going to become available. Who is out there? I don't know. I mean, Paul George still hasn't got his extension. I think he would still be a nice fit. He's on the older side though. And that could be one of the best reasons why Donovan Mitchell is still a good move, because he's young. He's a star still. Right in the middle of his prime, or maybe not even coming into his prime yet. So that is a good reason to pay a guy good money, right? You don't want to pay a guy big money who's on the other side of their prime, because we've got Brunson, we've got Randall, who are both 28. So, I mean, the goal should be a guy like a Mikal Bridges as well, because he fits and he's young. But I don't ever see the Knicks trading with Brooklyn. Now, he doesn't seem to be happy in Brooklyn. Obviously, they're not winning. His buddies are on the better side of New York City. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. I think the draft, I think we will continue to stack these picks. I don't expect us to draft 2 players in the first round. I think we might flip 1 pick for a future pick, and then we might make 1 selection. We've got some great draft content coming up. Guys, we'll be talking about the prospects, what could the Knicks do, the multiple scenarios on the table for the New York Knicks, who have the Dallas pick, and we have our own draft pick as well. And basically it's a case of a Mikal Bridges type fit, undersized guard like Donovan Mitchell. The fact that Deuce McBride and Divincenzo are here, that eliminates the need for a Donovan Mitchell, I feel. But look, if he was to come here, I think it would be box office still. I think it would make us the favorite in the East. Equal favorite, you could say, with Boston. So is that enough alone to do the move? Yeah, I guess, it's hard to turn down all-star talent. Now, OG Anunoby, it's going to be fascinating to see what contract that OG Anunoby gets, guys. I don't think this injury setback is going to affect the likeliness of OG getting the full amount, or close to the full amount that he can get. Right? Don't forget, Leon Rose's son, Sam Rose, is his agent, and the Knicks do like to take care of people as well. But look, that's a long way away. We've got the rest of the season. We've got the playoffs as well. That is going to control the narrative. I think what OG can do for us in the playoffs is gonna really help his legacy with us. Yeah, it's a done deal. Basically, AP says, it's just a matter of how much as well. In terms of some prospects, Dirty Dancer likes Devin Carter, Missy, and Tristan Da Silva, and Jalen Tyson as some realistic picks for the 20 and 21 spots as well. Appreciate those prospects and your thoughts on them. And there's so many ways the Knicks could go. This is a year where you can find that diamond in the rough, because it's a really wide open field. Walt Perrin, we really chance to win, earn his money, and the Knicks, the rest of the scouts as well. What I like about this year too, guys, is the fact that we can pick nice guys based on fit, because of the roster we currently have. And it's special, the fact that a lot of the spots are filled right now. We're not going to draft a player with expectations and rely on them like we were with Kevin Knox, to come in and be a stud straight away. We can find another quality role player to come in and make us a better team, or a well-rounded team, but not a guy who has to come in and and take somebody's spot. But what I'd be looking at, like Dirty said, with some guys, I'm going to assume Alec Burks is not going to be here. Bojan Bogdanovic might get traded on draft night for a star, maybe Donovan Mitchell. But if not, Bojan Bogdanovic will get brought back because the $22 million team option is moving salary. So that's great that we have that chance. He's basically Evan Fournier salary, and Alec Burks won't come back, I feel. So that leaves a shooting guard spot open. I think it would be wise to maybe get another sharpshooter in here. You can never have enough shooting, right? Divincenzo's here for the long term, which is great. Hart's here. But if those guys miss time, Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel Quickley are no longer with the New York Knicks. If Alec Burks ain't here, well, even if Burks is here, he ain't swishing. So we need, some guys to hit some shots as well. Now, maybe another rugged power forward. Precious Achiuwa his asking price might be too steep. If we can find ourselves a Draymond Green type guy who can guard, play 4s and 5s, who can shoot it a bit, rebound well, be an enforcer on this team, back up OG and Randall. Those are some areas that I would look at, fam, but we'll talk about that more coming up. But as I said, man, we're coming from a position of strength this off season, which is good. So yeah, I feel like some shooting at the 2 spot, and a rugged power forward, rim protector could be good. Who knows if they trade Mitch? Who knows if Isaiah Hartenstein might get, we might get outbid as well. So that's something to look out for the stash picks as well. Buzzer Beater says Spider would be a welcomed addition, but who do we let go? I think the starters would stay. I think we could find a way with Bogey's salary to make it work. We'd just be a luxury tax team. Yeah, we would really be a taxpayer in that scenario, fam. But I don't see any major piece going. I don't think Hart or Divo would go in a trade like that. If one of them was to go, it would be Divo, in my opinion. Just because I don't think a Cleveland, could do with a Josh Hart. I think if they're going to lose a Donovan Mitchell, and the trade is caught up on the fact that Divincenzo is part of the deal, and the fact that you're getting Donovan Mitchell in, I could see Divincenzo a part of that package. But I think draft picks, maybe some young player, and of course Bogey's salary would be enough, I think, to get that done, fam. But man, would I hate to trade Divincenzo. Anthony Davis, I haven't heard many fans talk about him. Still playing at a really good level, but I don't think the Knicks would go that direction. I just feel like we need guys that play as well. Tibbs, there could be that durability question, but yeah, in terms of talent, there's no question that he would be a good fit if especially if Isaiah's not here or Mitch. But yeah, I think look out for the Paul George thing still. Something tells me that, and unless the Clippers come with big money, there's 2 things to look out for the Knicks and for Paul George. His CAA, and he's very close to Julius Randle as well. Of course, he went on, Julius Randle went on the Playoff P podcast as well. Those guys are close. He's gone on record saying that he likes the New York market. Now Paul George would be win now. Like, his play's still at a really good level. He's getting older though. But the thing is, with the Knicks, he wouldn't have to be the first guy. On nights, he wouldn't have to even be the second guy. So that could be really appealing for the Knicks and for Paul George. Right, but like I said, there's risks. It's going to cost you, and it's really going to be a case of window open right now. for a limited time. But you're talking lineups of, Brunson, Divincenzo, OG, Paul George and Randall. Small ball lineup. Lockdown defense. I mean, that could work. I think that could work. But look, Steve Ballmer, I think he's going to come with the money. If anything, Kawhi Leonard could be the guy. Kawhi Leonard could be somewhere else. He could be going to the Lakers. Who the hell knows? Right, the Clippers do need to do something this season. Where do they sit now? The Clippers are in the 4th spot, but they're 4 games back of the 3rd spot. So I think 4th spot is best case scenario for the Clips, and home court in the playoffs against Pelicans. That's a good matchup. I could see the Clippers beating the Pelicans in round 1 and getting to the 2nd round in that matchup. Draft picks don't have any monetary value in a trade, fam. Basically, because the draft pick hasn't been made yet. If the team that has that draft pick makes that selection, then the salary goes onto their books. With that, fam. We see a no trade for Mitchell. Just sign him. Yep. Well, it would have to be a sign and trade, fam. As much as I would love, to just sign him, we don't have the salary cap space, fam, to just sign him. But it would basically be a very close situation to us to signing him. It would be bogey, salary filler, and draft picks, fam. Because we wouldn't make all those draft picks anyway, with Spider here as well. The chat's talking about LeBron. It would be a situation where it'd be like a 1 year, 2 year fling. I would say no. I appreciate Bron and the legacy he has, but that bridge is crossed. That boat has sailed, man. What's up, Michael Drake? Let us know if you're in the building. Great win today as the Knicks go back to 14 over 500, beating our younger brother, our city rival, the Brooklyn Nets. Right, they're not even a rival though. It's basically just a beatdown of a younger brother. And the Knicks are getting closer to the 3rd seed is the real story for me. Mitchell Robinson getting closer to returning. We're starting to really talk about seeding matchups for us in the ball club now. To me, I'll rank in order what is the most likely. I think we'll face in round 1. I think it's most likely we'll face Orlando in round 1. Whether it's a we're in the 4, they're in the 5, or we're in the 5, they're in the 4. The second most likely matchup is we're in the 3rd spot. Maybe Indiana or Cleveland could be in 6, but probably Cleveland finish no less than 4th, as well. So it could be a 5, we're in 5, Cleveland in 4. But the 3rd most likely is us in 3rd, and probably Indiana or the Heat or the Sixers in 6. So 2 out of those 3 scenarios, we have the home court. Whether we're in the 4 with home court or we're in the 3rd with home court in the first round. So that is positive for the pathway. Obviously, we know we're going to face Boston in the 2nd round if we don't get 3rd. With that matchup. Stepchild in the Brooklyn Nets. Yes. On point. NYC ball. What's up, David? Great win. Definitely, man. I love the the grit, we closed it out with Deuce McBride. Not ideal playing 48 minutes, but great performance from Divincenzo. We gave him his flowers. Yeah, he's a special player. I think in the playoffs he's going to be big because he's got no conscience. You know, Divincenzo plays bigger in the spotlight. You know, the bigger the spotlight, the bigger Divincenzo plays. You know, look at the NCAA final. Right, 31 points off the bench. Right, to win the game ball in the championship game. Right, I mean, they call him the Michael Jordan of Delaware. Right, I think, you know, one of the reasons I give Leon Rose an A on the season so far, the off season included in the season, is one of the signings of the season, Divincenzo, for 13 million. You know, where would we be without Divincenzo this season? I mean, all the time that Brunson has missed with OG and Randall. I mean, he's one of the unsung heroes for this season alone, is Divincenzo. He's the real lone upgrade we made in the summer, right? We didn't trade for OG yet. We still had Quickly. We still had RJ Barrett. A lot of people felt we didn't make enough upgrade. You know, we didn't get Donovan Mitchell. We didn't get other players. People thought, oh yeah, Divincenzo's a nice pickup. But look at the rest of the East. People said, oh, look, you know, the Knicks have got marginally better, but so has the rest of the East. And then we fast forward to today, man. We're 14 games over 500 with a boatload of injuries. And we're sitting here talking about the 3rd seed. So that was a home run, the Divincenzo signing. Basically, it lived up to the fullest potential that it could have, you know, lived up to, you know, and credit to him. But back to the playoffs, man, his Knick legacy could go to another level in the playoffs because he's a big game kind of player, you know. And when it's money time, Divincenzo comes to play. You know, today he wasn't having it. Start of the 4th quarter, 7-0 run by himself. Just broke the game wide open as well, together with Deuce McBride and Josh Hart on a down night from Brunny. Yep, that's one of the reasons Divo was brought in. I think ultimately they felt Quentin Grimes could have been a trade target. Quentin Grimes was extension eligible, and I think the organization was kind of thinking, right, okay, we either get a breakout year from Quentin Grimes and our plans change, or if Divincenzo lives up to the hype, Quentin Grimes is going to be a trade candidate. And yeah, the organization was one step ahead with that one, man. Salute Jet Life. A+ for Leon Rose this year and Michael Drake. Yep, I can agree with that. Outside of, you know, the playoffs and all of that, all the signings that Leon's made in terms of depth pieces, trades, all of that, I mean, maybe the one blemish you could talk about was the Bogey Burks trade for Grimes. You know, if you're going to nitpick anything, I think that's maybe the one that you could look at. And also, yeah, some people weren't the biggest fans of, was I going to add, yeah, the OG one, you know, Quickly and RJ at the time. Some people weren't sold. Obviously, we'll see what OG does in the playoffs, but yeah, he's been big. Dirty Dancer says, I don't think they would do it, but all the picks in the world for Desmond Bane. I haven't heard, yeah, a lot of people talk about that, but Desmond Bane would fit well, definitely, defensively, offensively. And it's always those players that you don't talk about a lot. You know, the NBA taught me that the least expected things can pop up. Sometimes guys become available. Could Brandon Ingram become available, man? would you guys entertain Zion Williamson? The fact that he's, you know, got back into shape, and he's elevated his season so far. He's elevated the Pelicans, to the 5th seed. So that's something. But for me, still to this day, I think Donovan Mitchell is probably the most likely next player to come in. But look, guys, I guess, a deep playoff run this season, maybe taking Boston all the way, or maybe making the finals, could dictate, what Leon Rose thinks. Maybe we keep things the same, and we make a couple draft picks. We make some more moves on the margins. I think we'll see, right? Because the thing is, we might not have brought in that third All-Star, but what we have right now are multiple stars in their role, right? Divincenzo is starring in his role now, and that's perfect for the team chemistry. Deuce McBride is starring in a role right now. Precious Achua was starring in that role. And of course, OG could still live up to be the third star on this team. But realistically, to win a chip with this squad, we need all NBA versions of Juju and for Brunson. Otherwise, it's not happening. We need the best version of those two to make it happen, and probably a lot of luck. Probably a good playoff run. A good run to the finals, and then some buzzing play. Couple no's on Zion. Yeah, I could see still not sold on the potential. A guy who maybe short term in terms of he's on and then he's back off again. Possibly a Julius trade. I wouldn't rule that out. I don't see it in the short term, but I never rule out anything in the longer term. Could be a win-win. I think if there's a day that Julius is not on the Knicks, I think it is on the West Coast. Could be a return to Dallas, LA again, possibly. But I wouldn't, trade Julius at any point right now. I think, you see what it looks like next season as well. We're on the way up. Unless we plateau and we level back out, I think that's when a Julius trade could become more realistic for me. But I know, some people are still talking about the fit, and maybe making another fit in that area. You do like OG in the power forward lineups, yeah. His his ability to play in transition is huge. His mobility is big as well, but questions over the durability with that. Yeah, Zion's supposed to be the new face of the league, but no one ever talks about him anymore. Another name I'll give you, LaMelo Ball. Right. What's up with LaMelo Ball? Is it the fact that he's in Charlotte? Is he still set to be a face of the league? Those Ball brothers just can't stay healthy, unfortunately. They've got all the talents in the world, but their bodies just can't be durable. And there's so many players like that. Paul George is one of those. Brandon Ingram is fairly injury prone right now. Zion again, in and out. You can't bank on these guys. You're eating up a lot. It's tough, right? the only thing stopping the Knicks from winning this season could be injuries alone. So, we've seen it before. But the the saving grace for the Knicks this season has been Leon signing these, great depth pieces, and making great additions, drafting Deuce, signing Divo, signing Isaiah as the backup, getting Shake Milton for insurance purposes as well. All of these moves are gonna factor in the playoffs. Possibly trading for Burks and Bogey. Right. Might be, that might come to be a huge trade, later as well. Julius had been, really, really durable up until this point. So that's been a huge tick for Julius. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the bonus this season, guys. But I do think Randall stays for the short term. Until we reach the ceiling with this team, then I think Leon Rose is going to retool, around JB. Obviously, but when we hang our next banner, I think Julius, there's every chance Julius is, is a star still on the team. Obviously he's still in his prime, too. So, but yeah, great win. My voice is kind of getting a little shot, so we're going to wrap this thing up. As we move along, man, the Knicks train is rolling express up the east, all the way to the 3rd seed, right? Forget about Orlando. I'm looking at that 3rd spot right now, as the New York Knicks are just 1 game back of 3rd, right? We are tied in 4th. We've got 3 more winnable games to come. Let's not play with the food. Let's get on that streak. Beat the Pistons, the Raptors, and the Spurs. Right? And then we're on the road to 50 wins, ladies and gentlemen. We're buzzing as we're getting to the money time of the season. Right? Great chopping up this win in the matinee game. Daytime affair. 8 wins and 4 losses get the Knicks to 50 wins. Let's get it. For the first time since 2013. Shout out Carmelo Anthony and that crew, the Knicks from that team that year. But we need to win 50 wins, I think, to clinch 3rd, right? 49 might get us 4th. Home court, that's important too. But third seed can avoid Boston, right? Mitchell Robinson is going to be back, I think, within the next 3 games. And I think OG Anunoby might be back in the next 3, but I could see them also making sure that he's resting a bit more. Julius, I think, will be closer to maybe, the 5 to 6 games remaining, because I think with Julius, it's more important that he has the maximum time to rest, right? In terms of acclimating, we don't have that luxury anymore. I think it's more so the priority should be to rest Julius, right? You don't want to bring him back with 10 games remaining and then he hurts the shoulder again, right? So I think the playoffs are the eye on the prize for Julius and the club. Peace, health, happiness, blessings, Knicks Nation. And appreciate you for supporting us and rocking out. Great win. 14 games over. Let's get it on the next one. Monday night at the Garden versus Detroit. See you then. Peace.